Hello there.
It comes out to me as being brutal, melodic.
You know, regular Slayer beat.
Are we fucking nuts tonight?
People are demons. People are evil. We create evil.
Nobody should be at a concert worshiping Satan.
Because everyone seems extreme.
What? No warning?
You know, we're people too.
Tough to be first class when you're white trash. Roach class all the way.
What?
Hello everyone and welcome to the Metalzine. In today's episode we're going to be running through the foundations of music, basically asking ourselves what is a note, what does it constitute, and I want to start off with this video as a first lesson for the channel because I see it as more of a prerequisite for some of the more advanced stuff. And that's not to say that everything in the future is going to be advanced or this video is advanced. Some of it's definitely not intuitive in this video, but I hope it helps, and I think it will really help for future videos. So we'll start off by saying that sound is a longitudinal force. That means that when an event happens, you hear you hear what you perceive as a sound, and what that is a force moving through a medium that pushes molecules in such a way that you'll be able to hear a vibrational wave. Intuitively, we will not be able to hear sound in a vacuum because there is no medium. So frequency is the number of vibrational waves, that is, vibrational waves or peaks up or peaks down that you can hear per second. In the context of music, we're just using a second to be one. So that means, or that implies, that one frequency equals 1 hertz. So 440 peaks up and down is 440 hertz. So this is a non-intuitive part. Frequency can also be the number of events that can happen in 1 second with the same context. So, like through human perception, we can hear, roughly 19 events happening per second. The same event constant happening. We'll say a snare hit or a tom hit, cymbal hit, something like that. Tremolo picking. We can hear that, but when it gets to about 20 per second, I think that's about 50 or 1 every 50 milliseconds. We hear it as one note. So, like, let's say that you have a fan that's spinning very fast, and it's, every spin it makes kind of like a click sound consistently. Let's say you have it spinning at 440 cycles per second. You'll hear that as A in the 4th octave because you'll just hear that as one note. Let's say that you'll have drummers can, really fast drummers can, hit a snare at roughly, I think it's 1200 notes per minute. So let's say a drummer hits a snare at 20.6 times a second. You'll hear that as, I believe it's E and the 0th octave. But humans, with vibrational waves, humans can only hear 50 hertz to 20,000 hertz or 20 kilohertz. So Western music defines A in the 4th octave to be 440 hertz, but there's been other very historic definitions for A in the 4th octave, such as 428, 432, that's probably the second most popular one, 435, and 455. So we have all these in, the 420 to 450, 460 range, and between there, there's a reason for that, for A being the 4th octave, and that's because an octave, to go up an octave, you're doubling the frequency of the hertz. So we can get down to the 1st octave by dividing it. That's pretty obvious. So A in the 3rd octave, the definition would imply that A in the 3rd octave will be 220, because 440 divided by 2 is 220 hertz. The first would be 110, and the 1st octave of A would be 55 hertz. So we can think of there's 12 music notes in Western music, and we can think of this to be kind of like a base 12 counting system, to where you go from A, or you have A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then that's all our 12. Well, once we get to 13, we can think of that as going back to 1, but an octave up. So we choose 440 because it sounds really good to our ears, and it doesn't strain vocalists too much. Like 455, there were some problems with that tuning, tuning A to the fourth octave to 455 hertz, because it really strained vocalists. Also, I must add that because there are 12 notes and because each octave, you're doubling the frequency when you move up an octave, like from B in the first octave to B in the second. To go from one note to the next, to keep the same pattern, you do 2 to the power of 112 because there are 12 notes in Western music. So to get from A to A sharp, you multiply, A of the first octave, you multiply by 2 to the 1/12th power. So it's basically like 55 times 1.05947 blah blah blah, and then you get A sharp, and you do that again, you get B. Do that again, you get C. Do that 9 more times, you get A in the second octave, and so on. And that's really lays down the platform of all notes, even notes that we can't hear, obviously, but those are sort of meaningless. So I know this was a short video, but I really hope it helps. If you have anything you want to see in the future, lesson-wise or anything like that, please let me know. It's been great. This is Mike. Please subscribe, like, share, all that jazz, and we'll see you at the next video. Rock on.